Does anyone else rehearse their facial expressions, their mannerisms before they enter a room or before they go somewhere? Because I will be thinking, is the corners of my mouth curled up too much? What is my eyebrow doing? Is my face twitching? Where am I looking? What am I doing? Girl, go touch some grass. I need that reminder. So today's episode is how to stop being chronically self-aware, because I need to take some of my own advice. This isn't a big issue I've struggled with my entire life. So we're going to start working on it together. Yeah, this is not coffee, by the way. I don't drink coffee. This is salted caramel iced chocolate. It's very caramelly. We can't lie. It is exhausting when you're constantly overthinking, why am I walking weird? Did someone just see me trip? Why did I say bye to someone in a high-pitched tone? Like, what am I doing? I sometimes feel like a prisoner in my own brain because I'm overthinking everything that I'm doing with my body. Like, sometimes you need to run a self-diagnostic thing on yourself. That doesn't make sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing a full body analysis on myself. If I blink wrong, I'm like, oh my god, what is going on with me? Like, that is not normal. Please tell me I'm not alone in that. And I know we've heard this all a bajillion times. No one's watching you. No one cares what you think. That is so much fucking easier to remember that when you're not in the moment of overthinking and stressing about your entire existence. Like, for example, if you're walking somewhere and you don't want to, seem like a loner and you don't know where to look, you'll go on your phone and pretend to text. Like, no one really actually cares that much. Maybe, but I really doubt it, because when I'm watching people in the shopping centre on their phone or just walking and existing for being a human, I'm not thinking anything other than what's going on inside my head about myself. So I think we've all just gotten ourselves into this trap of overthinking, caring too much what other people think, that it has kind of poisoned us into caring so much about how we're functioning that we're not even functioning like normal humans anymore. At least for me, that's how I feel, just completely trauma dumping on you guys. If I'm being completely honest, there will be times, for example, if I have to go somewhere new or if I have to go get a photo taken for a passport or something, I will practice in the mirror what that looks like. And for a photo, that's actually understandable. So I don't know why I'm saying that like it's a bad thing, but just in general, if I'm going somewhere where I'm nervous or it's a social interaction situation where I'm like, I don't know how to function, I'll practice my smile in the mirror and like looking at myself. Like, no, why am I looking at myself so much? And I don't even mean that in a vain narcissistic way. I'm just meaning it in a way that's like, okay, so I know what to do when I get there. I know what's gonna look normal when I'm normal. But it's just this process in my brain of like obsessive control over my appearance and how people perceive me, which I know that's so stupid. Like, at the end of the day, I really don't really care what people think that much. But there's a part of me that's like, well, obviously you do if you're practicing a smile in the mirror. Like, let's be honest. Obviously, being an observer, I love to watch people. I love to observe everything around me. And I have been observing a lot that the people who seem super chill and relaxed are the people who do not give a flying shit. Because they're not overthinking, did I say that weird? They're not overthinking, why am I walking like this? They're not overthinking those things. They've like fully given up, or they just have given up control because it's not something important. It really isn't in the grand scheme of things. Being so controlative and obsessive about how you are functioning and existing is actually insane. And I think this is actually probably therapy for me, talking about this out loud, is really putting it into perspective how psycho I am. Like, go touch some fucking grass, Island. I'm literally going to insert me touching grass after filming this, because honestly, talking about these things helps me too, because I'm realizing how in my head I am. And observing these people who just seem to not care. They don't seem like they've got their shit together, but they just are so relaxed and content from my perspective that I respect them so much, because I wish I could have that. And hopefully I will, because I'm going to start implementing these things I'm going to talk about. I've also learned firsthand through primary school and high school that the more that you try to look normal is when you get weird. That's when shit goes wrong. Because then that basically means that we're not living, we're pretty much performing. That's performative as fuck. Also, I want to point out something that I've also realized is that there is a difference between being self-aware and self-judging. Self-aware is when you notice yourself too much, when you're thinking, I'm walking very fast right now. Self-judging is when you're constantly tracking the amount of times that you've, said something bad, or when you're talking badly about yourself. That is self-judging, and I feel like they're very different, but they can kind of get interlinked and crossed over very easily, and it's not healthy. And maybe it's a sign you're not also just deeply aware, but you're also very anxious. I feel like that comes with having anxiety. So yeah, that's not news to me. I know that I have anxiety. I've been having anxiety for a long time, and that's okay. Anxiety and I are best friends. She got me, I got her. It's not a crime to exist, and it's not even a crime to exist awkwardly in your own unique way. And you're not always being watched, you're just being. You're just simply existing. And I feel like I've really been trying to show that on my TikTok and things, like when my face goes red in social situations, or when I'm overthinking. I'm just trying to share those like messy bits of my life, because I find it comforting to know that I'm not the only one who's sometimes trapped in my own head. The first cure, I think, to being self-aware or self-judgmental is focusing on attention, but not placing that attention on you. Start placing your attention on everything around you. Take yourself out of your brain. Easier said than done. I know, I'm trying to do it too. For example, if you go for a walk, instead of thinking about, oh, what are my shoes looking like? Is my top too tight? Is it sitting weird? I need to retuck it. Stop. Look outside. Look at everything around you. That is the only way to stop being so hyper self-aware about yourself. Because at the end of the day, when you're so in your head, you are not being present. And you can't do both things at once. You can't be present and also be overthinking in your own brain about how you're existing. It's like trying to look at your own eyes without a mirror. It just doesn't work. It's not to say that being self-aware and self-conscious is a bad thing, because at the end of the day, it's your brain's way of protecting you. Your brain literally thinks it's helping you because it's trying to make you self-aware about how you come across to other people, to basically save you or protect you from embarrassment, rejection. That is just your body's defense mechanism. But it's kind of ironic because that overthinking stops you from connecting with people in the first place. So you end up being alone, you end up isolating yourself because you're too busy overthinking your own self to remember what the purpose is of allowing yourself to join into other things. The other day I was at the supermarket, okay? I was looking at drinks and I don't know what happened. My feet just got tangled with each other. I don't know how that happens, but it happened. Okay, just take my word. And there were bottles of drink on the floor in the supermarket, which also that shouldn't have been there in the first place. And I was trying to move out of this way for this old man with his trolley, and I stepped back, feet got tangled, and I fully tripped over. I didn't fall over onto the ground, but it was bad. I was basically on my way to stacking it on the ground. Stopped myself in my tracks, and the aisle was filled with people. Face goes red, I start sweating, I'm embarrassed, I don't even know what to do. I've completely forgotten what I was in the aisle for. I can't even remember what drink I felt like in that moment, and I had to boost it out of that aisle because I was embarrassed. I need to remind myself, and I wish I could have remembered this in the moment, that no one freaking cares. No one remembers that embarrassing thing that you did. You're the only one keeping those traumas alive, obviously because it happened to you, but no one else is going to remember that. In 3 days, 3 months, 3 years, is it really going to matter? And I'm going to start asking myself that when things happen. I'm going to say in 5 days, in 5 months, in 5 weeks, 5 years, is it really going to matter? And then if it does, I can navigate that when the time comes. Hopefully it doesn't. But I think generally in this nature of overthinking and overanalyzing and judging yourself, most times it's probably not going to matter in that length of time. So go fucking touch grass once again. You know that really cringy quote? It's like live, laugh, laugh. Live, love, laugh again. Start doing that weird shit. Start being cringe. Start being free. Start dressing how you want. We, as a society, we have become, I don't even want to say basic. I don't know the right term for it, but I feel like we've just boxed ourselves into this conventional present. God, I really need to brush up on my terminology because that sounds really dumb. It's really hard to be perfectly aware of yourself and also authentic at the same time. I don't think they can be done consistently at the same time. Think, what do I actually enjoy? Do I actually enjoy this outfit that I'm wearing, or am I wearing this because I'm overthinking the person that I'm going to catch up with for coffee is going to hate my outfit, so I'm going to wear this outfit to please them instead? And then you start going down that spiral of overthinking your entire encounter and interaction. We ain't doing that in 2026. We need to stop this before the end of the year. You stop being chronically self-aware when you give up on being liked. I think I read a book a few years ago and it was like The Courage to Be Disliked. I've completely forgotten everything in that book, clearly, because I'm making this video to remind myself that stop caring. You really got to let the awkward things, the ugly things happen, even in front of your family and your partner. They love you for those things. That does not make you an shitty person or an embarrassment. If you laugh at yourself too, that has no control and power over you. Embarrassment, and even secondhand embarrassment, is all temporary. The freedom of not caring is what lasts longer. And ironically, the moment that you stop trying to be effortless that is when you actually become effortless. It's like when someone says, don't look at that dog over there. You're going to turn and look at that dog over there. It's naturally going to happen because you really only ever feel embarrassed when you're actually observing yourself from the outside instead of being present and living in that moment. So the next time I start overthinking my facial expressions and how I'm functioning as a human, I'm literally going to go touch grass and observe things around me. I'm going to start smelling the air. I'm going to start looking at what's around me and not focusing on myself so much. And I think that is really going to help. And I will update you guys and let you know how that goes. It could be a fail. But I think, like I always say, being self-aware about the things that you're trying to work on subconsciously, I think it can slowly happen. We can change ourselves for the better. Oh, it tastes like salty water. Yummy. Anyways, I hope that this helps someone and makes you feel less alone. Here's your hug. I love you so freaking much. And here's to the overthinking girls and boys who just need to go fucking touch grass. Like I've said 50 gazillion times, I'm going to touch some grass today. You should touch some grass today. And we should just enjoy life. Enjoy being here. And that is what I'm going to end this video on because I will just keep rambling. Oh my god, I didn't realize I was recording me taking selfies. Fucking vain bitch.